Warning, this video will contain jump scares. The Baby in Yellow is a severely underrated indie horror game, and the developers that created this amazing game are known as Team Terrible. It has had many significant game updates past its first ever release all the way back in the 19th of July 2020. The rough patch of society. At first, it's totally possible that someone could load up this game and not realize that it's a horror game. Countless people have in the past, but then things start to seem strange. This game first appears as a simple babysitting simulator. The parents of this child, Hester and Casilda, have left their home for whatever reason, and you now need to babysit for 3 nights. They live in an incredibly tall, incredibly peculiar apartment building. The question is the building significant, or the baby that resides within its walls? You complete simple tasks like feeding the baby, changing its nappies, putting it to bed, reading it bedtime stories. Soon, however, you will begin to notice the peculiar nature of this child. The first of these moments comes when it vanishes from sight after you turn your back to pick up a nappy. This might not necessarily be a horror game though, right? Maybe this child is just incredibly good at escaping. You never know these days. It is soon seen, however, that the baby did not wander far. Oh good, the baby didn't wander that far. Perhaps he just crawled there. He is merely at the bottom of the stairs outside the bathroom. This is still, however, peculiar. You now need to put the baby to bed. You carry the baby up to bed and read him a bedtime story. Then you go and watch TV. But did you really think it would be that easy? No. You know why? Because infants. The baby starts crying and you have to go calm him down, but when you get to the baby's room, you begin to notice that the baby is not there. This is unsettling to say the least. The sound was coming from the baby's room. Either you misheard the sound, or the baby is traveling through time and space at unhuman amounts of speed and velocity. So you backtrack, you walk back downstairs, and there the baby is. Sitting on the floor, right where you just were. Something is off here. You put the baby to sleep, and then you can continue with your night. I forgot to mention this earlier, but every night starts with a little monologue between the baby and the sitter. In night 1, the sitter says time for bed. The baby says, "Is that what you think?" Seems fitting, right? At the beginning of night 2, we are greeted with the dialogue. The baby, "Look, look, isn't it funny?" The sitter, "I told you not to do that." Night 2 is the first night when we really start to realize what's going on here. This is when we realize the baby is no longer just peculiar, something more. It begins as normal. We feed the baby, then we have to change the baby's nappy. Only this time the nappy escapes, runs away. This is not explainable by simple relocation and human moving patterns. This is not normal. We retrieve it from the parents' bedroom, where we discover a talisman. Next to the talisman is a book that reads Talismans and Their Uses in Childcare. This not only foreshadows that this could be useful later, but it does shine a light on the fact that the parents are aware that there is something wrong with their kid. We retrieve the nappy and put it on the baby. Then we simply take the baby to bed, but there's other things we can do throughout this night. Somewhere around the house we can find a key which can be used to open a door in the upstairs hallway, and when we open this door, we are greeted to an unexpected sight. It seems like some sort of demonic ritual is being utilized here for whatever purpose, and there is a recording that you can listen to. When you play it, you hear the story of the past babysitters.
Snow. A curiosity in July, following such a sweet spring. It started when I took this job, but I was not the first. They are with me. Night fell the first day, and the hours dragged on. Still we cared for the child. We spoke of Hester and Casilda in their absence, while outside the fog rolled in as the cloud waves roll and break on the walls. Oh, the sin of such innocent eyes! Clear as crystal, understood by the ignorant and wise alike, more precious than jewels, more soothing than music, more awful than death. Then, as I fell, I knew that the baby in yellow had opened their tattered mantle, and there was only God to cry to now.
Clearly, there is no good fate for those who babysit this child. Another important thing to note is that throughout this house you can find souls, the remnants of past lives that this baby has interacted with. You can interact with these souls to free them from their prison, And as you do, you get to hear their unsettling cries and moans for help. Like any other night, you rest. In the introduction of Night 3, we are greeted with new dialogue, and the most unsettling yet. The sitter, sweet dreams. The baby, I will show you my dreams. When Night 3 begins, you will notice that the baby isn't sitting in its usual waiting chair. You can go upstairs to find the baby, where the baby is happily lying. The game dialogue tells you that you're allowed to go and make your own food. After all, you're the babysitter. You deserve to be rewarded for your efforts. But when you go downstairs, things take a turn for the darkest. You are greeted with glowing demonic text written all around the house. Feed the baby, you monster. At this point, it's clearly evident that the baby is pissed. You have to walk down the fridge that has now become a hallway and grab the milk. But when you turn around, the baby seals you inside the fridge. This is getting intense fast. When you finally get back into the house, you feed the baby. Now you have to change its nappy. You take it to the changing table. But when you grab the nappy and turn around, you run upstairs to grab the talisman. This demon needs to be exorcised fast. You give the baby his talisman and it falls. It drops to the floor, apparently now safe from whatever demonic presence was inhabiting its body. Unsettling music begins to play on a note box. I would guess that this song playing is non-diegetic, but you never know with a game like this. You pick up the baby to take it to bed, but when you take it upstairs to put it to bed, you realize that the demon was not exorcised as well as you may have thought. The baby floats into its room, and you accompany it. Your fate is sealed. You are dragged through a portal into another dimension, known as Carcosa, never to be seen again. Sorry about that. Anyway, it's a really good game and you should play it. I know I just spoiled a considerable amount of the story for you, but don't worry, there's a choose your own adventure path. I can cover some of the other paths later on if you want. I am aware that a lot of the footage from this is outdated because the game that I'm playing is the old version, but hey, it's still a good game, and there's a lot of new content in the later games. There's the white rabbit stuff, there's the black cat stuff. You can like follow these animals to escape. It's weird. Anyway, I made this video for a school assignment, so that's where this came from. But it's a good game, and you should play it. And I hope I get an A. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Play the baby in yellow. Don't let it kill you. Goodbye.